What is up, everybody? It's your boy Verdict here, and thank you so much for stopping by, ladies and gents. Now we have something very important to talk about today, and of course that is the buzzword of the buzzwords, and of course we're talking about Cron Desert Online. I have it typed in here, and I have this entire little graph, or not even a graph, it's kind of like a scheme of what's going to happen because of what and whom and yada yada. And today the idea of this video is to really educate you on what this Cron Desert Online thing even means, because I see far too many people come over to my stream, far too many people really just throw that little buzz phrase around without even knowing what the true meaning of this buzzword is. And today in this video we're going to talk about really all of it. So stay tuned, because this is important information for you in order for you to understand, well, is Cron Desert Online a bad thing or not? And we'll see up until the end. Yeah. So Black Desert is a very special game, and I say a special game because you don't often see in pretty much MMORPGs, or let alone any games, a place where both the person who whales for the quote-unquote pay-to-win, or the ease of access which that particular purchase is going to provide. You don't often see this relationship where the person who throws money in the game, in order for them to get the main thing in the game, which is of course silver, is going to have to actually sell it to a player, and then the player also reap a reward out of the fact that there is a whaler who is giving his real life money. Now this is a very, very unique thing in Black Desert Online, and the relationship between player to whale is a mutually beneficial one. In reality, if I purchase an outfit and I sell it, I get the silver for which I purchase it for, and you also get the Cron stones, or the artisans, whoever does whatever. And in reality, both of these are cheaper for you to get that way than to simply buy them from the vendor. We know that to be true. So it's very important also to mention something that players don't really understand, unless you're somebody from a little bit of an economical background, or probably a little bit of an analytical background like myself am. We have to talk about the silver standard of BDO. Now, the silver standard is a phrase alone which is used in real life. It's essentially tying a currency to precious metals most of the time, and in BDO, we actually have this. You can measure BDO's entire economy and situation based on the performance of three particular resources. And we're talking about Karazad, memories, and Cron stones. Cron stones being the first and most important one, of course. So this is very important for you guys to know that if you have the silver in the game capable of being described and being owned by three currencies, from which you cannot play BDO without those three. You cannot play BDO without Crons, you cannot play BDO without memory fragments, you cannot play BDO without Karazad, especially Karazad, because you cannot enhance most of the new things without Karazad. So they are absolutely mandatory, even though in the market they are in abundance. So this is very important in order for you to understand kind of the economical part of BDO and really get a feel for it. Those three are the most important resources that we have in the game. So let's talk a little bit about the PA Dev Talk and the Karazad items. See, the Karazad items, the issue that we have with the Karazad items is basically how the perception of the community was all pretty much pushed towards the fact that they're Cron incentivized, or rather that Crons will be absolutely mandatory to progress the Karazad accessory, considering the fact that the Deboreka one post the Karazad release is going to be harder to enhance, is going to be more expensive to enhance, and the Karazad accessory will be statistically, with Crons or without Crons, it's going to be, with Crons only, sorry, apologies, it's going to be easier to enhance. This has been confirmed by Pearl Abyss in their dev talk. So why is this as such? Why did the player base literally just focus blindly onto the Cron stone part for the Karazad items, even though it's mentioned it's going to be easier to enhance and it's going to be cheaper to enhance than simply enhancing right now the Deberekas? Well, we have to also mention something over here. You know, this particular moment in this particular relationship of the mutual beneficiary, which is the player and the whale, like what we both get. The whale gets the silver, we get the Cron stones. This is a very important thing for some regions. For example, if you're on EU like I am, I have clicked 15 times my SEP sovereign yet, and from all those 15 times, only one of these was Cron. So in reality, I wasn't really, you know, hoping to get an outfit. So in EU, we have a little bit of a different dynamic. Real life in EU shows us that we have different countries with different standard, and whaling is not that important here, simply because in order for me personally, as somebody who lives in Bulgaria, to get an outfit, a premium outfit, I need to spend a daily's wage. That is unheard. This means that I have to spend 1/20th of my monthly salary to get an outfit and be used essentially to become a whale. Now, if you're in North America, your situation stands a little bit different. In North America, you are pretty much in a little bit of a different mental. In North America, there's quite a little bit of outfits being sold on the marketplace because of the difference in standard over there, and most importantly, there's this mentality where people don't really buy crons. People kind of just wait for the outfits to come around off the marketplace or simply snipe them. I've seen people snipe them. They just simply stay over there. So it's quite happening there. In MENA, however, and I'm going to post a screenshot, outfits are in abundance. Like you just simply buy outfit crons all the time. Nobody even clicks the cron stones in MENA. And kind of the same thing, but not exactly. It's kind of a little bit reverse for SEA. I'm just using these for example. And here's something that we have to talk about. See, well, everybody perfectly well understands that the Deborekas right now are expensive to enhance. The idea that, and this is with Crons by the way, we're not talking about the Jace Hammer of Precision. We don't know exactly where Karazad will land underneath or above Jace Hammers of Precision enhancing for pen Deborekas, but we know that Karazad will be cheaper to enhance with crons. So everybody that is complaining about the cron incentive, they are literally complaining about an accessory which is going to reduce the amount of time and silver needed to progress. So this is a little bit of that ludicrous part of this entire argument where people, it's like they forget about it. They're so pivoting onto the cron stone bit to the point where they forget that Karazad will be faster than the Deborekas. It's going to be more, it's not going to be that steep climb. It's going to be kind of a consistent increase in power. And however, that's not the entire story. Every single person that I've met literally just puts this particular situation as why they're hating onto the dev talk, and in particular the cronstone changes. But let me tell you something, and here's where I'm going to introduce the real issue to you. So everybody's talking about how, you know, the fact that it's a cron stone, then everybody, it's going to be more paid to win incentivized, which is kind of true, but not that many people provide the argument as such. It's like they kind of are not fully aware of why the Cron Desert Online even exists. So let's go about the whys. So if you're in EU, as I said, you probably won't get affected at all. If you're in North America, you will be slightly affected by this, if not moderately affected. And if you're on MENA, you will be quite affected. So why is this? And this is about something very important. The relationship player whale status is going to be damaged irreparably. However, what I mean by this is that, for example, if you're looking at a pen debo session of enhancing, or rather you're wanting to progress the Karazad accessory through the pen debo, we know that it's going to be more expensive to cron the moment the Jace Hammer of Precision is being removed from the game. But we know also that the Karazad will be cheaper to cron. So the reality here is that the whale will now have, for the first time and ever, an issue because the silver standard of the game is being broken. Or in other words, while silver is measured in everything, unfortunately, right now, if there is another way to obtain more silver through the cron stones, then this is a very big issue. And what I mean is that the whale will prefer not to sell his outfit, simply because if you decide to get 1.6 billion worth of silver, when those particular accessories, the Karazad, are not being sellable onto the marketplace, we're looking for the first time ever that silver is not the most important asset in the game. It's actually all measured in cron stones. Now, if people presented this argument as such, we could have a very in-depth conversation. And sadly they aren't, but I do hope that now post this video you will get to do this. So the reality of it is that the whale will prefer to no longer sell his outfits, and that is because if you are going to get a base Karazad and simply enhance it from there on with cron stones, that you'll be looking into a situation where probably no outfits will ever be listed onto the marketplace unless for whatever reason you're very silver hungry. And to be fair with you, a base Karazad, considering what the developers told us, will not really be that hard to obtain. So from that being said, ladies and gents, what's going to happen is that we all will have to buy our crons. So I hope you understand what the Cron Desert Online argument really is and why it's so important to know what we talk about and to explain properly to the player base how is this player to whale dynamic shifting, and how right now it's post Karazad accessories is completely dead. Like there will be no player to whale relationship ever, because it's now neither player incentivized, neither well incentivized, but also it's a very important thing to notice, one super giga important thing. While yes, you will no longer be able to buy crons from outfits from the marketplace, you will need less crons. you will progress faster. So this means that while the player-whale relationship is completely pretty much gone post the Karazad accessories, it's important to say that kind of it's no longer dependent on that relationship. While the whaler will simply cron his outfits, you will also have to buy less crons to progress Karazad up until the Nov. And here is where people really complain, because from Nov to deck is where they pivot their minds upon, at least the people who are aware of this relationship. So the Nov is, how can I say, the Nov to deck enhancement. Very few people will attend it, let's be honest about it, and unfortunately it's at that particular moment where the toxicity will rise, because, well, if you're creating an environment where the only way to progress that little bit is through cronning, then of course the people who actually pay to win for outfits and get them into cron will have it faster, easier, and on a percentage dependency more reliable than you from vendoring it and simply playing the game. I hope you understood what I mean. Enjoy yourself. This is the Cron Desert Online argument.